Hey everyone. So back in 2019, The Insider had an article where it says experts call Shane Dawson's video dangerous for its portrayal of eating disorders. And it talks about how Shane doing the series on Eugenia Cooney, when watching The Return of Eugenia Cooney, the first thing viewers see is a black screen with a warning. The following contains discussions of eating disorders which may be triggering to viewers. The actual discussion with Cooney about her eating disorder doesn't really start until after the 33-minute mark. And that's because Shane does like a 30-minute travel channel deal where he talks about driving from his house to her house. Ridiculous waste of time, in my opinion. And then once he gets to her house, he does a segment of MTV Cribs where they walk around Eugenia's house talking about all her toys and knickknacks and how beautiful her home is. I mean, they waste a lot of time in that video on stuff that isn't about an eating disorder, and then they barely even talk about it. When she and Dawson sit down at a picnic table outside the apartment she shares with her family, Cooney confirms for the first time she had an eating disorder in a conversation that spans less than 20 minutes, interspersed with dozens of clips from her channel and elsewhere. The entirety of the hour-long video is cut with rapid-fire clips, mostly from Cooney's channel, which highlight her gaunt frame and shrinking form. For 6 years, Cooney posted to YouTube and streamed herself on platforms like Twitch, and the now 25-year-old, like I said, this was in 2019, grew progressively thinner, sparking worry and cruelty from fans and detractors. Now, experts, or the experts that the Insider spoke to, they're not happy with this. They say that this is more dangerous for her community and Shane's community because Shane actually brought her over 600,000 more subscribers from what this article claims. When we are in the midst of our eating disorder, we are very, very good at wearing masks. We're very good at playing the role that is very convincing and wants to let people know that we're okay. That's what a policy officer, chief strategy for the National Eating Disorder Association, told the Insider. So the Insider actually spoke to people who work at the National Eating Disorder Association. A month in treatment is just barely scratching the surface of the road to recovery. While she put on a good face and was very chipper and cheerful, I'm not convinced that's what's going on inside. How do any of us know for sure? While both experts told Insider they believe Dawson had good intentions, they also expressed concerns with the way the video presented the reality of eating disorders and Cooney's recovery in particular. Turner says having Cooney share her story could be very cathartic, but she worries how much of her appearance was intended to resurrect or preserve her career. I don't want to speculate, but obviously her success on YouTube is a driving factor to get back to work. None of us knows if she is fully capable for that work, and I would want to believe that the people around her who care about her most are confident that she can handle it, she continues. I hope that they'll encourage her to take a break, which they didn't. Nobody around her in her inner circle seems to care. And the one person who did care, which was Jacqueline Glenn, did a 5150. Eugenia's mama tried to have Jacqueline arrested for kidnapping when Jacqueline tried to get her help. In the video, Dawson speaks to Katie Morton, a YouTuber and clinical therapist. Before interviewing Cooney, Morton suggests that Dawson avoid asking Cooney about her appearance and what she ate before and during her treatment. But after Cooney tells Dawson nothing is off limits in his questioning, he asks her about both. I think that kind of voyeuristic reporting is what sensationalizes the illness, Messinger says. She did say, I've always had a really low self-esteem and it felt like, wow, that's key. Let's focus on that. But it kind of came and went. That kind of stuff could have been much more valuable had there been more intention placed on that. Both experts were also concerned that Dawson's video played into overarching stereotype about eating disorders which is that they tend to affect privileged white women and tend to result in excessive weight loss like Cooney's. In reality, both said eating disorders cut across demographics and aren't always visible. There are so many people with just as curious there are so many people with just as serious eating disorders who started out with a much higher body weight who are losing weight and who are just as dangerously ill who nobody knows about, Messinger said. I think that narrative is being missed when so much attention is being drawn to cases like Eugenia's. Now, if we go back up here, they talk about how Shane at that time had over 22 million subscribers. Talks about how, he is very high on the YouTube ladder, basically. And for Eugenia Cooney, his latest YouTuber subject, who was widely speculated to have a severe eating disorder before a stint in rehab, he paved the way for a comeback and a fresh audience of more than 600,000 new subscribers. The return of Eugenia Cooney has been viewed over 27 million times, and that was in 2019, y'all. It's 2021. Dawson's long-term videos about fellow YouTubers purport to peel back the layers of their curated online facade to examine the hidden realities or secrets behind their everyday public personas. For nearly all of Dawson's controversial subjects, the effect has largely been humanizing. Until now, the stakes have mostly been the public perceptions of the YouTubers in question. Whether Shane's portrayal of them is truthful has little effect on anything but the profitability of those in front of and behind the camera. But with Dawson's examination of Cooney and her eating disorder, the stakes are much higher. In February, Cooney tweeted that she was taking a social media break to voluntarily work with her doctor in a medical issue, and fans largely assumed was the eating disorder. Her appearance in Dawson's video was supposed to signal her comeback. Anytime we focus on a story of a young woman who happens to be in a very, very thin body, it has an impact on mostly young followers, but even older people. Messinger, a research psychologist in the Dawsons School of Public Health, told Insider. If you're struggling with an eating disorder, it can be triggering, given the audience. Dawson's followers are mostly younger, so I think it's even more problematic because they're the people who are going to consume this documentary. There needs to be greater attention given to the dangers of eating disorder. But Messinger points out that the video's audience, which skews female according to the demographics listed on Dawson's booking website, and young based on overall YouTube demographics, isn't the only skateholder at risk. Experts and fans in the video's comment section alike are still concerned about Cooney. Experts call Shane Dawson's video dangerous for its portrayal of eating disorders. Wow. When watching the return of Eugenia Cooney, the first thing viewers see is a black screen, saying it might be triggering. And I agree. It's, the experts are right. From the National Eating Disorder, they are right. It is very triggering to the audience. And it's causing more harm than good. And Shane and Eugenia profited so much off of the eating disorder itself. And it was all a sham. And they, like it said, it was less than 20 minutes out of that whole video, and they barely even scratched the surface of what he claimed was going to be about her eating disorder. Wasn't. It was about her house and the cars and the toys and, the material stuff in her life, basically. That's all the video was. And the drive over, to her house. It was like an episode of MTV Cribs added with the Travel Channel, in my opinion. Anyways, we're going to look into this a little bit more. But that's one of YouTube's biggest stars made a viral documentary about another YouTuber's eating disorder. Experts say it could be harmful for its subject and audience. There you go. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment. What are your thoughts? Did you watch the documentary? Did you believe it? Leave a comment below. Thanks.